Yay! Hello, everyone! Welcome back to my channel. Today we are doing a book look for probably one of my favorite authors' first ever middle grade book, which is The Marvelers by Dhonielle Clayton! This book look was commissioned by the lovely Dhonielle Clayton, who is currently on tour for said Marvelers release, which came out earlier this month. I've been in a pretty bad reading slump lately, and I'll honestly say The Marvelers by Dhonielle Clayton was the one book this year so far that has pulled me out of my slump. This is probably one of my favorite books yet. I don't often read middle grade, but Dhonielle Clayton makes me want to read more, especially after this one. But if you are interested, I'm just adjusting on my chair because I'm sitting on my ankle. First things first, here is a quick little summary of The Marvelers. The Marvelers is a middle grade fantasy fiction book by Dhonielle Clayton. It follows main character Ella Duran, who is a conjurer living in the lovely New Orleans. In this magical world, there are conjurers and there's also marvelers. Conjurers aren't really accepted in Marveler society. However, Ella Duran is the very first conjurer to attend the Arcanum, which is the magical school up in the sky where all of the Marvelers go to attend to learn how to control their magic and to figure out which Marvel paragon they're going to belong into. And in the Arcanum, she makes friends, she makes some enemies, but also she has to figure out the mysterious disappearance of her mentor, Masturgi Thakur. So while she is trying to take on these challenges over at school, she's also confronted by the story's main antagonist, which I won't say because I don't want to spoil anything, while she's also trying to figure out this mystery. There's so much magic, so much mystery, so much adventure, and such a beautifully well-woven, wondrous world by Dhonielle Clayton that I just, this is my #1 book rec for the entire year so far. So if you were up and you're in the mood for a good middle grade read that is full of magic and inclusivity and multicultural and diverse representation, one of my main reasons why I love this book. So if you are a huge Harry Potter fan, I don't want to directly connect this or compare this to Harry Potter because they are completely different. However, one thing I will say, as a Potterhead, I like Harry Potter, I grew up on Harry Potter, but I wish I read this as a kid. Though I like Harry Potter, I couldn't see myself in Harry Potter. There wasn't any Filipino kids represented in the story. However, in The Marvelers, not only do I feel represented, but I feel like so many different cultures and skin tones and kids that you don't normally see as main characters or even just side characters in stories where their culture, their food, their mythology, and as well as like their lore and history and like stories told through their culture. I don't see a lot of that in middle grade, but with this book, this is a book that I want to share with my future kids. Aww. But yeah, if you're in the mood for any of those and you are interested in reading The Marvelers, I highly recommend it. Again, Dhonielle Clayton's on tour right now. She might be off tour by the time this video comes out, but if you got to see her, I'm so jealous of you. But yes, a lot of the inspiration for my book look came directly not just from the book cover. I'm sorry, my chair keeps squeaking. I'm trying to adjust myself and get comfortable here. I'm just gonna switch foots real quick. But a lot of the inspiration for this book look came not only from the beautiful, wondrous cover. Look how gorgeous, look how pretty, look at it, beautiful, that's beautiful, I want to eat it. It came from the gorgeous cover, but also a lot of plot points and story inspiration and imagery that we see inside the story that I'll get a little bit into as I'm painting. I don't want to spoil too much right away. I want you to get interested. I want to tease you a little bit with the story, just to get, you gotta go read this book. And before we get into everything, I did also want to say thank you to Macmillan Publishers for sending me this beautiful bookish box that the lovely book came in. And also all these little fun little paper goodies that I have scattered about with me. They're just, it's so beautiful. I felt so magical. I felt like I was getting invited to go to school in The Marvelers. But yes, thank you so much, Macmillan Publishers, for sending me this lovely bookish box. Thank you so much, Dhonielle Clayton, for commissioning me for this book look. And without further ado, let's get into how I put this all together. Woo! Thank you!
Starting with a clean bare face, I'm priming my face and eyes with Smashbox Photo Finish Control Mattifying Primer and NARS Smudge Proof Eye Primer. I'm starting with my eyes first just so I don't get any messy eyeshadow fallout and so it's easier to clean up as we go. But my main inspiration for this eye look was inspired by the beautiful blend of blue, pink, and orange colors from the book cover, and to recreate that, I'm starting with my Laura Lee Party Animal palette and my Zulu palette by Juvia's Place. I'm placing the orange tones from both palettes slightly above my natural crease of my eyelid, and I'm blending both pink tones from both palettes into my crease as my transition colors. I'm then going to add the shade Karaoke from the Party Animal palette and the middle matte blue shade from my Olori 2 palette by Juvia's Place all along my eyelid and inner and outer corners of my eyes. And just so I don't lose too much of the pink and orange shades from earlier, I'm just slightly blending both colors back into the look. I went ahead and did the same thing on the other eye off camera, and to better match the purpley blue tones from the book cover, I'm also dipping into the shimmer shade Dahlia in my Masquerade palette by Juvia's Place and blending that into my crease as well. Next, I'm using Juvia's Place's Culture Duochrome Liquid Shadows on the very center of my eyelid to add some shimmer and shine to the look. I'm starting with the shade Kente as my transition color and placing Ankara on the very center of my lid and blending both out with my fingertips and a flat packer brush. To add a little more gold sparkle, I'm also using e.l.f. Liquid Glitter Shadow in 24K Gold right on the very center of my lid and blending it up past my crease with my fingertips. This is pretty much the basic shape and coloring for the eye look, so I'm moving on to my face next. For foundations, I'm mixing my Fenty'S drops in number 9 with my Juvia's Place I Am Magic foundation in the shade Bogota 500 together on a makeup palette before applying it all onto my face with a foundation brush. I'm concealing under my eyes and on any of my visible blemishes with my Even Better All Over Concealer by Clinique in the shade Vanilla and using my fingertips to blend everything in. To blend everything all together even more, I'm just taking a damp beauty blender and tapping all over my face. With my fingertips, I'm applying Fenty's Cheeks Out Freestyle Cream Blush in the shade Summertime Wine all over the apples of my cheeks and cheekbones, as well as on the tip of my nose to add more of the pink tones from the book cover into the overall look. After that, I'm setting everything all over my face and my neck with some Hourglass Veil Translucent Setting Powder. Next, I'm doing the same orange, pink, and blue eyeshadow color combo on my bottom lashes and blending everything together. With a blue lip liner pencil, I'm roughly tracing and filling out my brows, and I'm also using the blue cream paint from my CC Beauty 12 color face and body paint palette to fill in the rest of my brows. To make sure my brows stay in place, I'm using some brow soap on a spoolie to comb and set them before going over them again with some blue body paint by Mayron just to make them even more blue like my Marvelers wig. I wanted to add more pink into the look to reference the gorgeous pink ombre hues from the cover, so I'm using my e.l.f. blush palette in dark all over my cheeks, nose, and a little on my forehead and chin. Next, I'm dipping into the same blue eyeshadows from earlier to use as a slight contour just under my cheekbones. Dipping into my Zulu palette by Juvia's Place next, I'm using the purple shade as a transition color between the pink blush and blue contour. With my Magic palette by Juvia's Place, I'm using the shade Faso to add some purple shimmer highlight across my cheeks and nose. And here's my kitty cat Kaja, who just wanted to pop in and say hi to everyone. She's so cute, I love her so much. Anyways, with a splatter brush, I'm dipping into some Mayron body paint in the shades Wild Orchid and Lagoon Blue to add some colorful freckle-like clouds to my cheeks. These splatter freckles are going to serve as our backdrop for some constellations that we're going to draw on later to mimic the starry night sky on the book cover. But after that, I'm setting those splatters with some Ben Nye translucent setting powder. I absolutely love the shape and whimsy from the book title font and wanted to try and incorporate them into the look. So moving back up to my eyes, I'm using the same blue lip liner to mark where I want to draw my Marveler font, swoopy lines, and the cute little embellishment dots. Right after that, I'm copying some of the constellations from the book cover and incorporating them into my splatter freckles.
If you know me and if you've followed me for a while, you know that I love maps. I love bookish maps, video game maps, any kind of fantasy world that has a map. It just tickles me and I love it. But look how cute this little map is. And then here's the star invitation post that you get, and it says, I don't know if the camera can pick it up, but look how cool this is. This is the Arcano. Ah! And then on the back of the map is also a note from the author and how she talks about how this book, and I know from talking with her previously when she was first asking to commission me, the Marvelers has been like years in the making. She's been working on this for so long. And one thing that touched me was, this book is a love letter to my 11-year-old self, the tiny glasses-wearing nerd who used to hide beneath her grandmother's mahogany dining room table with a stack of books. I was obsessed with all things magic and looking for kids who looked like me in the grand adventures of my favorite stories. That first paragraph that she writes about it is how I felt reading this. Because again, like, I love Harry Potter, but I could never see myself, I never felt like I could be in Harry Potter. But the Marvelers, I'm gonna be a Marveler today. So that's the goal, and sorry about me just geeking out.
Stars are a huge motif in the story and in the world of the Marvelers, so of course I had to incorporate as many stars as I could into the book look, especially in the form of glitter and confetti. Here I'm just sticking a mix of different sizes of gold and silver star glitter pieces and confetti on my freckle constellations. Next, I'm using 2 different mixes of blue glitter and gold glitter with my e.l.f. glitter primer to add some shine and sparkle to my constellations, and I'm applying them all with both a brush and my fingertips all across my cheeks and nose, and even up onto my forehead. Basically, it's gonna go all over my highlight points that would naturally catch the light when I move around. Once all of my sparkly bits are applied, I'm just quickly fixing up any of the constellations that got lost in all of that glitter. With some black cream paint, I'm marking where I want my wing eyeliner to go before going over it with some NYX Epic Ink Liquid Liner in black. And right after that, I'm applying some false lashes by McKiwi. These are 25mm foam ink lashes, and they're my favorite because of how big and dramatic they look. Once those are on, I'm also smudging on a bunch of mascara on my bottom lashes so they look just as voluminous and bold as my top lashes. I'm using NYX Liquid Suede Lip Liner in the shade Jet Setter to slightly overline my lips. I don't want to fully cover my lips with this just because I want the pink tones from my natural lip color to keep the pink tones from the book cover present in the look. Moving back up to my eyes, I'm also using Juvia's Place's Culture Duochrome Liquid Shadow in Fula in the inner corner of my eyes, and I'm also using Mayron's Metallic Powder in gold on a spoolie just to add some gold highlight to the tips of my lashes. If I'm going to be a Marveler, I'm going to be the shiniest, most sparkliest Marveler. Haha. I'm jumping back down to my lips to add some Gloss Bomb Lip Color Cream by Fenty in the shade Fenty Glow, and more of my Fula liquid shadow onto the centermost parts of my lips. I went ahead and applied some blue colored contacts off camera, and just so I stayed true to the book cover color palette and just so the look wasn't so overwhelmingly blue, I decided to add more orange and pink tones around my eyes and constellation freckles. For this, I used my CC Beauty 12 color palette, my Fenty Cream Blush, and my NYX SFX Cream Color in orange. I'm also adding some iridescent and gold rhinestones to the top and bottom dots on my eyes, applying them with some lash glue. To prepare for my Marvelers wig, my favorite part, I'm first spraying my hair down with some water to slick it back before putting on 2 wig caps. In the world of the Marvelers, each student at the Arcanum are sorted into 5 different paragons: Vision, Touch, Taste, Sound, and Spirit, which you can learn more about in the book, which I highly suggest you read. And if I were a Marveler, I'd want to have a paragon of Vision, and either have some kind of divination power, or just work in the library reading all day, which was the biggest inspiration for how I pieced together and styled my wig and props for this book look. And to be a Marveler with a paragon of Vision, the eye is wise. I wanted to incorporate these orrery-inspired half-moon glasses that have little star charms on them and some ocular lenses into the look. And once my wig is on, I'm just quickly cutting and blending in my lace. Star posts play a huge role in the story, so of course I had to incorporate star posts flying all around my head with my headpiece. If I were in the Marvelers, I'd either want to be in my 3rd year, or a teacher, or a librarian in the Arcanum, so I chose to make a blue and multicolored Marvelers mantle embellished with starry twinkle lights to match the book cover. Ooh. And last but not least, I'm putting on my Sky Fairy necklace with gold chains as my train wires. If you'd like to see how I made and styled all of these accessories, I'll be posting a behind-the-scenes video coming soon where I talk a little bit more in depth about the Marvelers as well, so please go check that out when it comes. And I just didn't feel sparkly enough, so after the accessories, I added some liquid glitter drops and some of the loose mix of leftover glitter from making my Marveler mantle all over my chest. And I'm also adding some star glitter and confetti and connecting them as constellations like the ones on my face, and topping everything all off with some highlighter by Fenty in the shade Trophy Wife. But after all that, we are done! Woo! Here is our finished book look for The Marvelers by Dhonielle Clayton. Yay! Thank you so much, Dhonielle Clayton, for commissioning me for this book look. You are my absolute favorite author, and I'm so honored to be given the opportunity to bring yet another one of your stories to life through makeup. I also wanted to thank Macmillan Publishers for sending me this beautiful copy and PR box for The Marvelers. I also wanted to give a humongous shout out and thank you to Kadisha Khatib for the beautiful book illustrations, and Liz Dresner and Trisha Previtt who did the gorgeous book jacket designs. This book cover is so beautiful and was so inspiring for this book look. If you haven't already, go grab this book. It's my favorite read of this year so far, and I'd love to know what y'all think about it too, so let me know in the comments. As always, thank you all for joining me. Let me know what book looks you'd like to see me do next, and I'll see you all next time. Bye!